Hi!
Who are you?
I'm your nephew.
Who have we here? Aren't you a sweet little pumpkin face?
Louise, you're even more beautiful than your pictures. Sir, I'm turning you into toothpicks with my zowie zap gun. Zap, zap, zap!
What are you doing, Arnold?
Oh, nothing.
Have you ever been curious about the story behind the famous saying, "What you talking about, Willis?" This is the video about Gary Coleman, a young actor whose life was both remarkable and filled with sadness. Coleman's life is like a roller coaster ride with ups and downs. From his cute face to his challenging experiences behind the scenes, his journey in the spotlight is full of talent, hardships, and the ability to bounce back. Join us as we explore the captivating tale of a star that burned brilliantly but tragically faded all too soon. Early life and rise to fame. Gary Coleman, a remarkable individual, was born on February 8, 1968, in the vibrant town of Zion, Illinois. From the very beginning, he faced unique obstacles that shaped his extraordinary journey. Gary's life took a different turn right from the beginning. He was adopted by W.G. Coleman, who was really good at operating forklifts, and Edmonia Sue, who worked as a nurse practitioner. But that's not all. Gary also had to deal with a condition that would change his life. He was born with a kidney disease called focal segmental glomerulosclerosis. To treat it, he had 2 kidney transplants when he was still a kid. One when he was 5 years old, and another in 1984. Due to a certain condition, his growth was limited, resulting in him being only 4 feet 8 inches tall. However, this condition also gave him a youthful appearance that would later become his distinctive feature. Even with these health issues, Coleman's charm and skill still stood out. He started his path to fame by making a special appearance in a commercial filmed for Harris Bank in Chicago. Later that year, he made an appearance in an episode of the CBS drama series Medical Center. In 1978, Coleman made appearances in both The Jeffersons and Good Times. A year prior, he starred in a pilot episode of a reboot of the classic Little Rascals series as the character Stymie. Unfortunately, that pilot didn't end up getting picked up. Television producers were quickly drawn to him because of his contagious personality and talent for acting. In 1978, when he was just 10 years old, Coleman got a big break that would shape his future and make him famous. He played Arnold Jackson in the popular NBC sitcom Different Strokes, which made him well known to people everywhere. Different Strokes wasn't just any TV show. It became a huge part of our culture. The show aired from 1978 to 1986 and followed the story of 2 African-American boys from Harlem who were adopted by a rich white businessman named Philip Drummond. Arnold, played by Coleman, stole the show with his clever remarks and adorable personality. His famous catchphrase, "What you talking about, Willis?" became a fan favorite. He received a lot of praise for his performance and even won a Young Artist Award for being the best young actor in a comedy series. He was also nominated for a few other awards. Coleman became a superstar after his amazing performance on Different Strokes. He became one of the richest kid actors during the late 1970s and early 1980s. Not only was he famous on TV, but he also became a big deal in our culture. He was on magazine covers, went on talk shows, and even had his own cartoon show called The Gary Coleman Show in 1982. But Coleman faced many challenges on his journey to fame. The stress of being a famous child actor, along with his ongoing health problems, started to affect him. He was always in the spotlight, not only for his amazing performances, but also for his personal life. Despite facing numerous challenges, Coleman persevered in the entertainment industry, showcasing his talent in a range of television shows and films. He was known for his incredible talent and unwavering determination, which made him a popular figure. However, his early success and health problems cast a long shadow over his life. During this time, Coleman showed incredible strength and determination. He successfully managed the difficulties of being famous, maintaining good health, and facing personal obstacles with a positive attitude that inspired many people. His tale goes beyond that of a famous child actor. It's a story of a young individual who faced the challenges of living in the public eye. He fought hard to stay true to himself and preserve his self-respect, even when the odds were stacked against him. As we dive into the tragic life and sad end of Gary Coleman, We'll uncover how he tackled these obstacles, the highs and lows in his personal and professional journey, and the lasting impact he made. Coleman's life is a true example of how the human spirit can stay strong, motivate others, and conquer challenges even when the odds are against us. Challenges and struggles. Gary Coleman's rise to fame was filled with obstacles that went beyond the typical struggles of being a celebrity. His story serves as a touching reminder of the dangers that come with fame at a young age, and the personal struggles that are often kept secret beneath all the excitement and luxury. Gary's health issues always cast a dark cloud over his life. His kidney disease, which affected his appearance, also required him to follow a strict and tiring medical routine. Even though he had 2 kidney transplants, he still needed to go through dialysis regularly. Dialysis took up a lot of his time and left him feeling exhausted. Not only did these health challenges impact his personal life, but they also had an impact on his professional career. Sometimes, his health issues made it harder for him to work, which added more stress to his life. Coleman faced major challenges with his finances. Like many child stars, he faced a common problem of financial troubles, even though he made a lot of money during his successful career. Coleman made a shocking discovery. His wealth had been horribly mishandled. During his time on Different Strokes, Coleman made a whopping $100,000 for each episode he appeared in. During the show, Coleman had to work really long hours on set, even though he was quite young, and had a lot of health issues. The not-so-great working conditions played a big role in making him really unhappy. Moreover, he experienced a strong sense of isolation from the other actors in the show. However, things took a turn for the worse after the show ended, adding to the difficulties he had already faced during those years. Remaining popular and in demand after being a child star has always been a tough task for young actors throughout history. Gary was always stuck playing the same kind of character and could never break free from it. This turned out to be one of the greatest challenges he faced, impacting him both in his career and personal well-being. Despite facing difficulties and finding new acting opportunities after the end of Different Strokes, one would assume that he should have been financially secure for the rest of his life. But unfortunately, what could have been a fantastic success story representing the American dream soon turned into a terrible nightmare. When Different Strokes ended in 1988, Gary Coleman had lost approximately 75% of his wealth. In a surprising turn of events in 1989, he took legal action against his own parents and business advisor, accusing them of mishandling his money. He went through a tough legal battle that revealed the downside of his early success. But in the end, he won a $1.28 million ruling. Unfortunately, Coleman's financial success didn't last long. In 1999, he had to declare bankruptcy because of poor management and ongoing health issues. This bankruptcy was a major downfall for someone who was once very successful. Gary Coleman faced numerous legal problems throughout his life. He often ended up breaking the law for different reasons, mostly because of his personal problems and how people treated him because he was famous. The media often made his confrontations seem worse, which made people think less of him. The legal problems he faced were completely different from the adorable character he portrayed on TV. This made people see Coleman as someone with issues and always causing trouble. Coleman had a very chaotic personal life. Their marriage in 2007 was like a roller coaster ride that went from exciting to disappointing in no time. Their relationship was filled with drama, including public fights and court battles. In 2008, the couple made an unexpected appearance on divorce court, adding a surprising twist to their short-lived marriage. Their relationship was like a wild roller coaster ride, with lots of ups and downs. They had moments of intense emotions, with accusations and even restraining orders involved. It mirrored the chaotic and unpredictable nature of Coleman's personal life. This chaos wasn't just a personal issue, but it happened in front of everyone, making his already difficult life even more challenging. Coleman's life was always under the watchful eye of the public and media. Because of his medical condition and personal problems, he had a one-of-a-kind look that attracted both admiration and mockery. The media didn't always show him in the best way, highlighting his challenges instead of his accomplishments. This representation created a public image that clashed with his professional identity. The Gary Coleman that fans adored on screen was becoming more and more different from the Gary Coleman depicted in the gossip magazines. Coleman faced challenges in his career trying to recreate the same level of success he had on the show Different Strokes. He struggled to find roles that didn't stereotype him or live up to the success of his previous work. Many child actors face this challenge where their early roles can shape their future career in restrictive ways. Coleman tried to explore new opportunities, but his results were a mixed bag. This was quite frustrating for an actor who had previously been very successful. Gary Coleman's experience with fame had many different effects on him. It had a big impact on his well-being, his connections with others, his money, and his career. He encountered a variety of challenges that were both personal and public, often tangled together in ways that made them hard to handle. His life is a story that warns us about the dangers of becoming famous too soon and teaches us how crucial it is to handle the different parts of a public life wisely and thoughtfully. Personal life and relationships. Gary Coleman's personal life was filled with a mix of heartwarming and challenging relationships, but it often got overlooked due to his public image. Coleman's journey to success went beyond what we saw on screen. He had a fascinating network of personal relationships that greatly influenced his life. Coleman's life began with a mystery. His birth parents were unknown. However, he was quickly welcomed into a loving family when W.G. and Edmonia Sue Coleman adopted him. But as Gary became famous, things got complicated between them, especially when it came to handling his money. In 1989, he took them to court for using his trust fund without permission. At the age of 10, Coleman formed his own company, Gary Coleman Productions, to handle his career. His parents became his full-time managers, writing themselves into the contract as their sons' paid employees. When Coleman's acting career slowed drastically after the cancellation of Different Strokes in 1986, the child star turned to his trust fund, which was estimated to hold nearly $18 million. Coleman, nearly 18 years old at the time, discovered only $220,000. The discovery resulted in a tangled lawsuit against his parents and his agent for misappropriation of his trust fund. This legal battle became a very public and emotional turning point in their relationship. Gary's legal battle was both professionally necessary and personally devastating. It shed light on the complicated and tense relationships that child stars often have with their families. Gary's health problems had a big impact on how he lived his life. Not only did his condition affect how he looked, but it also changed how he saw himself and how he connected with others. Gary had a tough time growing up because he had a chronic illness and looked different from others. This made it hard for him to figure out who he really was. He would frequently talk about the challenges of always being seen as a kid, which affected how he interacted with others and formed relationships. Coleman's marriage to Shannon Price was a big part of his life. They actually met while working on the movie Church Ball in 2007. They fell in love like a tornado, and before they knew it, they were saying "I do" in 2008. But the marriage was filled with problems. The couple often argued in public, even going on TV shows like Divorce Court, which showed that their relationship was going through a difficult time. Their relationship was filled with legal problems, one of which was a restraining order that Coleman filed against Price. Even after their divorce in 2008, the couple chose to keep living together. This unusual arrangement made their relationship even more complicated and captured the public's interest. Gary found it difficult to get along with people. Despite his fame, he faced personal and health challenges that made it difficult for him to build strong and long-lasting connections with others. Price's personal life became even more complicated due to physical fights and public arguments he was involved in. The media often showed these events, telling a story of a man who had a hard time finding peace and stability in his relationships. In 1998, he was charged with assault after allegedly punching a woman who sought an autograph from the actor. He pleaded no contest to the charge and was ordered to pay the victim's hospital bills. In July 2007, Coleman was again arrested, this time for disorderly conduct when a heated argument with his girlfriend, actress Shannon Price, got out of control. Despite their difficulties, the couple wed secretly in August of that same year. But by 2008, they were already having marital problems. They headed to TV's divorce court to settle their issues, airing their grievances for rapt audiences in May of 2008. The couple would stay together, and a year later, they were again embroiled in a domestic dispute. Both parties were cited for disorderly conduct. But these conflicts with the law didn't resonate with Coleman, and in 2010 he was charged with domestic violence again and placed in jail overnight. Despite facing various difficulties, Coleman managed to build significant connections with others throughout his life. He had friends in the entertainment industry, including his co-stars on the TV show Different Strokes. These relationships gave him a sense of comfort and stability during his chaotic life. Yet the nature of these friendships, which were influenced by the complexities of the entertainment industry, meant that Coleman had a support system that was sometimes as uncertain as his career. People often had a different view of Coleman's personal life compared to what was actually true. Although he was adored for his TV persona, his personal life faced intense scrutiny and occasional harsh judgment. Coleman found it challenging to handle the contrasting image of being adored on screen but struggling in real life. The media loved to gossip about his personal life, which sometimes took the spotlight away from his accomplishments and the relatable challenges he faced. Gary Coleman often pondered his life and relationships, facing challenges and yearning for a sense of normality. In different interviews, he openly discussed the difficulties he faced with fame, health, and relationships. This showed that he was a thoughtful person who understood the complexities of his life. Although he faced challenges, there were times when he felt clear-headed and happy, indicating a strong longing for a calmer and more stable personal life. Coleman's incredible journey, filled with ups and downs, had a profound effect on both his loved ones and his devoted fans. Many people can relate to his challenges in relationships, health, and figuring out who he is. His story is not just about being famous, but about being a regular person trying to navigate life's ups and downs. His impact in this area serves as a touching reminder of the relatable struggles of fame, personal relationships, and finding oneself. Later career and public perception. Gary Coleman's life took a bumpy turn after Different Strokes ended in 1986. He faced challenges as job offers became scarce, and people's opinions of him changed from supportive to judgmental. But through it all, he showed incredible strength and determination. After Different Strokes, Coleman, like many other child actors, had a tough time switching to more grown-up roles. Known for his lovable character Arnold Jackson, he struggled to land roles that were different from what people expected of him. Because of his unique physical appearance, he was often typecasted, which limited his chances in mainstream Hollywood. Coleman appeared in different TV shows and movies, but nothing compared to the huge success and influence of his breakthrough role. He lent his voice to animated shows like Waynehead and made special appearances in series like The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. However, these roles were mostly for nostalgic purposes rather than major career milestones. Coleman's journey in his career led him to venture into unconventional acting roles. He tried his hand at doing voices for video games, like the famous game The Curse of Monkey Island. He also showed up in music videos, especially in John Cena's Bad, Bad Man in 2005. Coleman's ventures showed his eagerness to try new things, but they also emphasized the lack of opportunities for him in mainstream acting. Coleman struggled with depression after the settlement, later admitting that he attempted suicide several times. The former star went into semi-retirement, bouncing from Colorado and then to Arizona. When he couldn't find acting work, Coleman, in a bid to overcome financial challenges, decided to try his hand at different unusual jobs. This decision caught the attention of the media, leading to a significant buzz. He had a job as a security guard, a position that the media often exaggerated. During this time, he experienced a noticeable difference between his past fame and his daily challenges to make enough money. It was a surprising change for a famous person who used to earn a lot of money, and everyone noticed, including the public and the media. Coleman's later years were filled with legal issues that made his public image even more complicated. The man's life was filled with arrests and legal battles, showing that he was always struggling against his situation. The media talked a lot about these incidents, which sometimes made people forget about his previous accomplishments. During this time, the media had a complicated way of showing Coleman. They sometimes showed understanding and excitement, which mirrored how the public felt about child stars going through tough times. People had mixed feelings about Coleman during this time. While considering his health struggles and the difficulties he encountered while transitioning from being a child star, many people felt sympathetic towards him. However, his many legal problems and unique career decisions resulted in him facing a lot of criticism and mockery. People's opinions on fame and how they view famous people who have fallen from grace are reflected in the contrasting public sentiment. During these challenges, Coleman tried to make a comeback multiple times. He took part in reality TV shows and showed up on popular programs like The Surreal Life and Divorce Court. He made these appearances to stay in the public eye and stay connected, but they also showed the personal challenges he was still dealing with. Coleman's attempt to make a comeback in his career received both positive and negative responses, showing how unpredictable fame and public attention can be. The difference between Gary Coleman as a regular person and Gary Coleman as a famous celebrity became more and more noticeable. The cute and funny kid actor has grown up and is now facing real-life problems, completely different from the make-believe world of TV shows. The public's changing opinion of him was mainly due to this disagreement. When we look at Coleman's later career and how people saw him, it's clear that his story is a complex one. He lived a life in the spotlight, which had both good and bad sides. His transition from a cherished child actor to a person frequently caught up in controversy serves as a powerful reminder of how fleeting fame can be and the toll it can take on a person. Before we continue, guys, it's time for our subscribers' pick. Take a look at the picture on your screen and reflect on the tragic life and sad end of Gary Coleman. On the left, you can see a young, handsome talent who has what it takes to make the audience smile. Meanwhile, on the right, we see a middle-aged man donning a smile but harboring a lot of spears deep at his back, hiding and holding up his pains behind the camera. Have you ever had thoughts of what Gary Coleman's life would have been if not for the health challenges he had faced while still alive? I bet he would still be dishing us premium fun entertainment. What do you think? We would love to know your thoughts on Gary Coleman. Drop your opinions and let us know what you think in the comment section below. Navigating fame and personal identity. Gary Coleman's life presents a complex interplay between the allure of fame and the pursuit of personal identity, a theme that resonates deeply within the narrative of his life and career. Propelled into stardom at a young age, Coleman had to navigate the challenging waters of fame while still developing his sense of self. His role as Arnold Jackson in Different Strokes brought him immense popularity, but also typecast him at a formative age. This early identification with a fictional character complicated his personal identity development, as he was often seen and treated as Arnold, blurring the lines between his real self and his on-screen persona. Despite his fame, Coleman yearned for a normal life. He spoke candidly in interviews about his desire to be treated like an average person, free from the constraints of celebrity. This longing for normalcy was a recurring theme in his life, reflected in his various attempts to step away from the limelight and engage in everyday activities and jobs. Coleman's relationships, particularly his tumultuous marriage, were heavily scrutinized and often portrayed negatively by the media. This public intrusion made it difficult for him to forge genuine connections, as his personal life was constantly under the microscope. The dichotomy between his public image and his private self was a source of distress and confusion, both for Coleman and for those who tried to know him beyond his celebrity status. The exploitation Coleman faced, especially regarding his finances, further complicated his relationship with fame. His legal battles with his parents over his earnings highlighted the darker side of celebrity, where financial exploitation and mismanagement are all too common. These experiences left a lasting impact on Coleman, fostering a sense of mistrust and caution in his interactions within the entertainment industry. Coleman's health issues were a significant part of his identity. His physical appearance, influenced by his kidney condition, became a defining aspect of his public image. While it contributed to his unique charm on screen, it also led to typecasting and public scrutiny off-screen. His health struggles were a constant reminder of the fragility of life and the superficiality of fame. Throughout his career, Coleman made several attempts to reinvent himself and step out of the shadow of Arnold Jackson. These efforts included exploring different types of roles, participating in reality TV, and even running for governor of California in 2003. While these attempts were met with varying degrees of success, they were crucial in his quest to redefine his identity beyond his child star persona. The media played a significant role in shaping Coleman's public identity, often focusing on his legal troubles and personal issues. The media portrayal contributed to a narrative that sometimes overshadowed his professional achievements and the more nuanced aspects of his personality. This external shaping of his identity was a constant battle for Coleman as he sought to assert his true self in the public eye. Gary Coleman's legacy extends beyond his work as an actor. It encompasses his struggles and triumphs in dealing with fame, personal identity, and the challenges of life in the spotlight. His story is a powerful reminder of the human aspects of celebrities and the complexities they navigate beyond their public personas, final years, and legacy. The tragic life and sad end of Gary Coleman was tough. He faced health problems, had personal issues, and spent time thinking about his life in the spotlight. Gary has been fighting kidney disease for his whole life, and it's been really tough on his health. In 2009, he had a secret heart surgery that gave us a clue about how serious his health problems were. In his last years, he had to go to the hospital many times. In 2010, some things happened to him that were talked about a lot in the news. On May 26, 2010, something really bad happened to Coleman. He hurt his head really badly at his home in Utah, and it was very serious. He died 2 days later on May 28th when he was only 42 years old. He left behind a legacy filled with happy memories and important lessons about the price of becoming famous at a young age. Gary Coleman will always be remembered for his unforgettable performance as Arnold Jackson in the popular TV show Different Strokes. His personality, which combined humor and charm, had a lasting influence on popular culture. Coleman's famous saying, "What are you talking about, Willis?" became really popular in America and showed how much of an impact he had as a young actor. Although he faced difficulties later in his career, his impact on television, particularly in sitcoms, is still noteworthy. Coleman was a trailblazer who shattered racial barriers and brought immense joy and laughter to countless people. His impact on television history is truly unforgettable. Gary Coleman's life and challenges also led to bigger discussions about how child actors are taken advantage of, how their money is handled, and the emotional toll of fame at a young age. The fight he had with his parents in court about his money was a really important moment. It showed that we need to do more to protect kids who become famous. His experiences helped to bring about greater awareness and eventually led to changes in how the entertainment industry treats young talents. The public's response to Coleman's personal struggles was mixed. Opinions about him were divided. Some felt sorry for him, while others were not so nice, paying more attention to his legal issues and unusual occupations. But as time went on, people started to understand just how difficult his life had been, especially towards the end. They began to feel more compassion for everything he had gone through. His life story reminds us that celebrities are human too, with their own challenges and struggles that go beyond what we see in the spotlight. Coleman's rise to fame was like a roller coaster ride, full of ups and downs. It taught us a lot about the challenges of being a child star and how tough it can be to keep up with the expectations of the public. He had a hard time finding roles that went beyond his child star image and tried to live a normal life while everyone was watching. This showed how tough it can be for people who become famous when they're young. After Coleman passed away, people have continued to remember him for more than just his famous role. They admire his strength and determination when faced with tough times. Many have celebrated his impact on television and the remarkable obstacles he conquered. People are still fascinated by his life story, which combines a sense of longing for his on-screen character and a greater understanding of the challenges he faced in real life. Gary Coleman's performances, especially on the show Different Strokes, still captivate and connect with people today. His work brings joy and serves as a reminder of our shared cultural experiences. His performance continues to live on through the show's reruns, making sure that new generations get to experience his talent and charm, and keeping his place in pop culture intact. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.